All right, so write down your math goal in your math notebook to multiply mixed numbers and write down if you know anything about multiplying mixed numbers, then come back to me. Okay, our first problem is 5 6 times 1 and 1/3. How can I find the product? So how can I find the answer to that? We're going to take a look at a couple of different ways to do that. So one way is to think about it as area, right? So area is length times width, right? So let's look at the area model. So in my first one, 1 and 1/3 is represented here by one whole that I have here. And then this other whole is broken up into three equal parts, and I have a third of it. So I have one whole and a third. Now in this one, I have 5 6, right? So that's represented here. So I broke up my whole into six equal parts, and I have 5 out of the 6. So remember when we did it and when we multiplied fraction by fraction and then how we overlapped them? So that's what we're going to do here. So in essence, I'm taking this and I'm overlapping it onto my whole, and then you'll see what that looks like. So in essence, I overlapped it and I placed it here. And so basically, it's this part, the part that's double shaded. So this area, because I have 1 and 1/3, and I'm taking 5 6 of that. Remember, of that. So in essence, what I'm doing, I have my one whole and I'm multiplying it by 5 6. And then I'm taking my 1/3 and I'm multiplying that by 5 6. So the distributive property tells me that I can do that. So I'm taking 5 6 of my whole, and I'm also taking 5 6 of my 1/3 by using the distributive property. So I can do 1 times 5 6, which gives me 5 6, plus 1 times 5 is 5. 6 times 3 is 18. 5/18. So then I got to add 5 6 plus 5/18, which I turned 5/16 into, I had to add, find a common denominator, right, for adding. 5/16 becomes 20/18. So that gives me 1 and 2/18, because 20 divided by 18 is 1 and 2/18. And if I add that together, that's going to give me 1 and 1/9. Okay. Now that's one way to look at it, the area model. I know it seems kind of a little bit confusing, right? But I wanted you to see what it looks like. You're taking 5 6 of the 1 and 1/3. Okay. So let's look at it a different way. Another way to look at this is by doing the math. So write this one down, because this is the way that we're going to be doing these, and it's way faster than doing the area model and then the distributive property. And I'm going to show you in just a second how this is way faster. So write this down. The first thing you do is rewrite each mixed number and into improper fraction. So this one's already a regular fraction, so it stays. So this is a mixed number, and I'm going to turn that into an improper fraction. Then see if you can simplify. And then third, multiply like normal. So remember, to turn it into this mixed number into improper fraction, remember that I multiply, then I add. Remember, 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4, gives me 4/3. So I turned it in. Now I can multiply like normal, right? Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. But first I'm going to see, can I simplify like we learned? So does 5 go into 6? Nope. Does 3 go into 5? Nope. And remember, it can be denominator times denominator or numerator times numerator. It's got to be numerator by denominator or denominator by numerator. So does 4 go into 6? No, but they share something in common, right? They share a 2 in common. That's the factor they share. I can divide the 4 by 2, gives me 2. I can divide the 6 by 2, and it gives me 3. And I can just multiply. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 3 is 9. 10/9, which turns out to be 1 and 1/9. Okay? So write this down, please. Very, very important. Okay, let's do one together. So write down 2 1/4 times 1 3/4. Now, if I were to do the area model, right, the distributive property, this is all the math that we're going to have to do. So I'm going to take my 2 and I'm going to multiply it by 1 right here, 2 times 1, plus the 2 times the 3/4. So that's represented here. So I'm done with that one. Now I got to do the 1/4 times the 3/4. Then I got to do the 1 times the 1/4. So it gets very complicated, right? But I just want to show you. Then I got to do 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3/4 gives me 6/4. 1/4 times 3/4 gives me 3/16. 1 times 1/4 gives me 1/4. Now I got to add. 2 plus 6/4 gives me 2 plus 1 2/4, plus 3/16 plus 1/4 gives me 7/16. I got to keep adding. I add 2 plus the 1 2/4 gives me 3 2/4. 7/16 stays the same. I add the 3 2/4, the 7/16, and then I end up with 3 15/16. So you could do it that way, but if we turn these into improper fractions, you're going to see it's way, way faster, just like we saw in the other example. So let's do it that way. Okay, so do it with me. So I'm going to turn them into improper fractions. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7, 7/4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, 9/4. Now I see, can I simplify? Does 4 go into 9? Nope. Does 4 go into 7? Nope. Can't do it. So I just multiply. 7 times 9 is 63. 4 times 4 is 16. And then it's just 63 divided by 16. So then I would need to do the division, right? So let's do that really quick. Okay, so I did the division here. Hopefully you did it too. So I did 16. I knew 16 times 2 would be too small, so I did 16 times 3 and I got 48. I tried 16 times 4 and I got 64, so I went over, so I know it was 3 times. 16 times 3 is 48. Subtracted, I got 15, so I got 3 and 15 sixteenths. Way faster, right, than doing it the distributive property way. All right. Okay, so try one. By the way, if you forgot how to change mixed numbers into improper fractions, go back to the video 1-5, lesson 1, video 5, and that will be, that'll give you help. Okay, so try this one. Rewrite each mixed number into an improper fraction. See if you can simplify and then multiply like normal, then come back to me. Okay, 1 2/3 becomes 5/3, and I have 1 2/3 twice, so I don't have to do it again, so I know it's 5/3. So then I just multiply because I can't simplify. So 5 times 5 is 25, 3 times 3 is 9, 25 divided by 9. How many times is 9 going to 25? 2 times, right? 18. 18 to 25, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 7 times. And I know that my denominator is 9, so my denominator stays the same, 2 and 7/9. Okay, try another one. 1 1/2 times 2 1/3. Remember to rewrite them as a mixed number, the mixed number into an improper fraction. See if you can simplify, then multiply like normal, then come back to me. Okay, so 1 1/2 turns into 3/2. 2 1/3 turns into 7/3. But this one I can simplify, right? I have a 3 and a 3. I can divide both by 3. 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 1 is 2. 7 divided by 2. So 2 goes into 7 how many times? 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. I have one more to go to 7. So gives me 3 1/2. Remember, my denominator stays the same. All right, so what did you learn today? Please write it down in your math notebook. Proof of learning, do 2 mix numbers and then turn them into improper fractions and multiply, and then write a reflection or a question you may have.